Hello and welcome to the third segment of what we're recording today on Dragon Talk live here on the Twitches. I am Greg Tito. In case you didn't know, we are joined by
Wolfgang Baur.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's here.
I'm here. You summoned me.
And he appears. We also have my co-host.
Shelly Mazanoble.
Is that your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. What is my name?
I spelled it wrong.
Mazabuble.
Mazabuble?
Mazabuble.
Like Michael Bublé? You sing like him too. You have a very luxurious voice.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll spare you. But.
So we're doing this on the lives. It's the first day of doing it. Yeah.
Madmen. Mad women.
Mad women. We are all mad here.
Not
Whose
my
idea
idea.
was this?
No, I'm going to blame it on Nathan Stewart. It was all his idea.
Nathan did say, I'll be on anytime. Like that was going to make up for it.
It's true.
Really?
And guess who's out this week?
Oh, convenient.
Yeah, like he was doing it on purpose.
And who's out next Monday?
You?
Oh, actually me, but him too.
Oh, because you're going to be at Origins.
Yeah, so
That's right.
the fact that I'm not going to be here next Monday does not
Are you
mean
going to
that...
Origins too?
I wish I were going to
Are
Origins.
you?
Kobold Press is running like 40 games of D&D at Origins, and I'm not there.
Why?
I'm sad because I have
Of Columbus?
other
Because you have to
things.
run around delivering books? Hand
Yeah,
delivering
actually,
your
I
books?
am hand delivering books. I have a new book. We'll get to that.
Oh,
We'll get to that.
but first, witty banter.
Yeah, that's exactly. Cue the banter as it goes. So thank you guys so much. If you had paid attention to the stream of Annihilation, we announced our new storyline, Tomb of Annihilation, which is coming. When is it coming? September 8th. Into game stores everywhere, as well as most likely on Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. It'll be available then. And then everywhere, September 19th. It's a crazy story. Jungles, Lost Continents.
We're playing it right now.
We're playing it right now. We're Tabaxi, the cat people, not
Yeah.
the human tribe named Tabaxi.
Oh.
I feel like we have to clarify that every time
Right.
because there's two Tabaxi. There's the big
Weird.
T and the small T.
Oh.
Yeah, and so we're playing in that, and it's really fun and interesting. A lot more like Indiana Jones meets
Very.
zombie dinosaurs
Yep.
kind of feel.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, no, it's a big change.
And then,
too,
of course,
right?
a Sararak, the dude behind you,
Don't mind
looming.
him. Don't mind him.
I'm nervous all of a sudden.
Exactly.
He likes to be
He
on camera.
looms with intent. Yeah.
Just don't put your hands or feet near the mouth.
Yeah, did you see her?
I saw.
Yeah.
And all the dice, the beautiful dice.
Exactly.
One of those is going to walk out with me.
I think
Could
it's
be
this one.
this one.
Oh, all right.
Or no, it's that one.
No, it's mine.
Awesome.
I want to give it to
I wanted to
Wolfgang.
give him my die.
All right. Well, thank you guys for bearing with us as we're doing this live here. We have some chat as well where we can talk to you guys. So if you have a really good question for me or Shelly or Ryan or Wolfgang, I guess, if you want
Or
to ask him
Sean.
something.
Sean's
Anyone.
working his butt
And
off
Sean
over
as
there.
well. Yes, Sean is helping us with
Thank
the
you,
videos
Sean.
with the Z at the end. Videos.
Greg is good at spelling.
It is true. It's one of my strong points, really. Do you even need to be a speller anymore in the age of spell check
Nope.
and or the internet?
Nope.
You can just, because, you do it in the search bar and it'll be like, did you mean to say this? I'm like, oh, yeah, that is what I meant.
Yes.
Mezzo Beranzen. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And then you spits it out.
That's
all
what
right
you
there
were
for
thinking.
Menzo Baranzen, which I learned from Bob how to really pronounce that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always getting it
Bob
wrong.
actually taught you how to pronounce it. I never could. I'm like, who made this up?
It's actually different from the way I would normally do it.
It was different.
It's Menzo Barazan. Like
Yeah.
there's an accent at the end, right?
I don't
Now
remember.
we recorded it.
Unearthed it.
There's
We
a
got it on
secret.
video.
There's a secret lost episode of Dragon Talk of talking to Bob, which we might
The
get
lost
out.
episode.
The lost episode. We
From
might
the
get out there
vaults.
this month. So should I do the actual intro to Dragon Talk, or was that the intro?
He told me.
It's live, man.
I know we're trying to make this live. Yeah, I think it was pretty
past
good.
and
I covered all the
future.
bases, right?
Yeah.
Like we would normally.
Yeah,
I think so.
totally.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about your game?
I have a game.
Yay.
Did you hear about my announcement?
No. Tell me
Oh.
about your game.
We made a new board game.
Yes?
Are you familiar with Betrayal at House on the Hill?
I am somewhat familiar.
Have you ever played a game called Dungeons and Dragons?
That sounds familiar.
Okay. Well,
Sounds
anyway, mashed them up,
Really?
and we made Betrayal at Baldur's Gate.
Ooh.
It's so fun.
All All right.
Comes out in October.
Oh, see, I was ready to all right, here's my cash. Where's
Well, I will take your pre-orders.
Great. That seems like a great mashup.
It is it's actually like oddly perfect. When we started making it, we were like, oh yeah, this totally goes
Baldur's
together.
Gate? I think so.
Totally.
Yeah. You didn't have to
should
change
happen.
up too many of the rules. Like the rules pretty much
No.
all mapped to the same kind of idea.
Yeah, we kept like the basic mechanic of Betrayal. Like you're still finding items and events and omens. We didn't change
Right.
any of that.
Oh, good.
But you're playing D&D characters. And you're
That's so
adventurers
much
and not
better.
explorers. And you're not exploring a house, you're exploring a city of Baldur's Gate, which you actually
Oh.
get to like build every time you play. City. We have street tiles, building tiles, and catacombs.
Wait a minute. It's not the canonical Baldur's Gate layout every time?
If you can do it.
Yeah.
You can put it down each time. They're like, this is the exact map
I
that we
would
use.
put it
Be
down
you.
in the correct.
I know.
But no.
No.
Okay. We play fast and loose with that. That's all right.
But there is some iconic Baldur's Gate locations. you
Yes.
know? Like the Elf Song Tavern, perhaps?
yeah,
Because
all right.
all good adventures start in a tavern, and
I know
that's
that
where
rule.
you start.
Is that where you start?
That's where you start.
Isn't there a interesting piece of lore that Matt Cernit made sure to insert into
There's
there?
a couple, yes. Our lore master, he looked at all of the tiles and made sure that they accurately represented Baldur's Gate. Like we had the rose portal, and he was like, "This building is circular. It is not a square." Like, oh,
He knows these
ew.
things. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So we had to go back to the drawing board and fix that. And when he saw the Elf Song Tavern, he was like, "That is not the Elf Song Tavern. Did you know there's a stuffed beholderkin behind the bar?" And we were like, "We did not know
did not,
that,
but
but now
let's
we do."
Put that right
We
there.
put it. And he said that it's illuminated by these floating drift globes that emanate of this blue, beautiful blue glow. And they're about the size of grapefruits.
All right. So like beholder candelabra is what we're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just kind of, how cool would that
Chandelier.
be? So we went back to the illustrator, Scott Ukamara, and he put the beholderkin behind the bar and the drift globes, and Matt said, yes, now we are in the Elf Song Tavern. Now it is legit. So it is glorified, you guys.
That's awesome.
Glorified and glorified.
Glorified and glorified.
I like it.
With the globes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's really beautiful.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
the
be playing
pieces
that
look
this
cool.
fall.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
Or sooner, because I have a copy.
Yes.
Oh, shh. That's what
All
you
right.
get
If you
when
were going
get
to
here.
Origins, you could play with
Oh
me.
man, I would play that at Origins. You're probably demoing it like
I am
24 hours a day.
probably going to end up
Into the
probably
90s.
like only twice a day, but I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a little more.
Origins After Dark.
Well, it's a great show, and you're lucky to go.
I haven't been in a long time, like
Wow.
maybe since
I
like,
have.
since 2000.
It was in Philadelphia last time I went. It was a long time
Oh,
ago.
wow. Different
Really?
city.
Yeah.
I've never actually been. It's crazy.
What?
But we'll talk.
Bucket list. Hello.
I know, right? I got
You
a lot
could've
of those things.
You
I want to go to
could've
the UK to do their
UK
game expos and stuff.
That was just a week ago.
Yeah, I know. I heard all about that. I'm like, oh, I want to go there next year.
All right.
No, next year after that. No, next year after that.
Uh-huh.
Gamescom. I haven't been to Gamescom either. I want to do that. But speaking of all the lure, amazing tidbits that
Yeah.
Matt can insert into your game, he can also insert it into this very podcast when we will
Weird.
now have. We recorded this earlier today, but yes, we will talk about dinosaur people on the next Lure You Should Know segment. So we'll throw it to that right now with the Bing Bong. This is live. It's crazy. Is this
We
crazy?
just keep going.
I
We
don't.
can't take
We just
I
a
know,
keep
isn't
going.
that weird?
break?
Wasn't that a great lore segment that you just listened
It
to?
was amazing.
Dinosaur people, right?
I know.
Right?
I didn't know any of that.
Sorials and
Okay, I know about
Terrafolk.
them. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's
Did you
good.
did you work on any of those?
no.
No.
Sadly.
Dang it.
But it's
Couldn't
good
do
stuff.
that. Yeah, it is good stuff.
Yeah. Were you excited to hear about the dinosaur people?
Yeah, well, mostly because I
Schultz.
follow the D&D antics of Sue, the T-Rex.
Oh yes, I know.
Right.
How perfect is
How
that?
perfect is that? She's a dinosaur. She's
We
a
did it for her.
fossil at the Field Museum in Chicago, and she plays D&D.
Yep.
And she's on Twitter, and she's like my favorite dinosaur on Twitter. So
How many other
Which
dinosaurs?
says
Barney.
a lot, because
There's Barney. There's the
there's Barney, and then there's the Velociraptor guys from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like all the little eggs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, all the eggs in Twitter are dinosaur eggs. Clearly, this makes
Clearly,
sense. Now.
yeah, the Sorial takeover is complete.
Yeah, I liked the T-Rex because I didn't realize this until I went back into the thread a while. But then all the institutions in Chicago were all like complaining about not being invited to her D&D game. So like the art museum was like,
Stop
"Where do I
it.
get involved?" and all this stuff. And I was
Are
like,
you
"Oh,
serious?
that's
It's
so
like
cute."
a huge crossover between D&D players
They're
and
so
the
smart.
museum curatorship staff, right?
Yeah, or the social media staff.
Or
Probably
the
is more.
social media staff who are more social
Well, it was
role-playing
brilliant.
types. Yes.
Whoever
Exactly.
did it, I loved it.
I loved it.
I love
to
it
pieces.
too.
So
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you should go check out Stu the T-Rex Twitter handle. Probably if you just search for that, it'll come
Oh,
up.
yeah.
yeah, it'll come up.
Yeah.
He's got, I don't know, 100,000 followers at this point. So
Yeah, it
not
is-
bad for
it's
a
good stuff.
dinosaur.
Yep.
We should put her in Tomb of Annihilation just to make sure that
You
she
should
she
have
gets
like
a
a
reference.
some kind of.
Yeah.
She looks
Special
undead,
nod.
right? I mean,
Right.
She's all bony.
Exactly. She's got that like zombie dinosaur thing happening already. I love it. We'll talk to Perkins. We'll get it
All
in
right,
there.
make it happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Friend
people.
of the show.
Yes.
Friend of the show.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
I
much
love
for
that.
coming to be here for this
After a
in-person
busy
interview.
day that you
Always
had.
honored to be here. Thank you for inviting
And you're
me.
sick.
And I have so much menthol, you can just about
Right.
see it
You know what's
through
cool
the...
about this being live?
It's-
People are actually going to see the exact moment you and I got a cold.
It's happening right now.
Oh,
The
help.
viral contagion
Yep.
is just my gift to you.
Thank you.
I thought it was the smell-o-vision of the menthol that people would be able to scratch their
do like
computer
the
monitors
smell
and
of the
smell.
menthol.
Menthol's
Menthol
all that's
cigarettes.
holding me together.
Menthol cigarettes.
I
The
love
first
menthols 'cause-
cigarettes I smoked were menthol.
Oh, they're
Me too.
disgusting.
They were disgusting. I didn't know any better.
Well, the best part about them is you didn't have to brush your teeth.
Yuck.
Yeah, in the
Smell
morning you could just smoke
minty.
a menthol and you're like, oh, I got minty fresh breath
In the
all day.
morning. Save me 2 minutes right there.
Time saving, that's what they
I'm
were.
much too
I'm
busy.
saving
Yeah.
healthier. No.
Time saving is that you won't have any time left at the end, so you're like getting it all, in while you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants those time.
I'm
No.
glad I quit.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
How long?
All three of us are
smokers?
former smokers?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's...
How did you quit?
Smoke if you got 'em.
Oh, I quit. My quit story is super easy, right? I smoked unfiltered stuff for a while,
Oh.
and then I started smoking cloves in graduate school.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
And those were awesome, right? They were just so sweet. And
Jarum? Did you do the jars?
yeah, those Indonesian things, those
Yeah.
were great. And then one day I spit blood, and I said, I'm done with this now.
Hey.
And the cloves are really rough on your throat. They burn a little hotter, right?
Yeah.
And that had ripped up something. I'm just like, cold turkey. I am
Really?
complete.
That was it?
That was it. I did not smoke with 2 exceptions at Gen Con parties since. Yeah, that's about it.
That's crazy. Yeah,
How about you?
I smoked cloves when I could get them because they were always hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with Jarum Lights, which were the same taste, same kind of feel, but they just didn't feel as harsh.
Okay.
And I
Oh,
did that
see,
for
you
like a
didn't
whole
have to
summer
quit.
in Ithaca.
Yeah.
Actually, in Ithaca, New York, I smoked a whole
There's
summer
always an Ithaca.
doing clove cigarettes.
It's always an Ithaca
the light
story.
ones.
When you were doing some theater.
yeah, I
stuff
was like
there?
19, living by myself in Ithaca, New York, smoking, and it was
No
'cause
one could stop you.
no one could stop me.
Wait.
Exactly.
So like, what year was this?
This was 1997.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was long gone.
We were there at the same time.
That's
can't
what I
believe it.
thought.
That's so
We could
crazy.
have been there at the same time. I didn't
Totally.
realize that you were such a juvenile.
I know. I'm so
young.
yeah.
Youthful.
Youthful.
Sprightly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But then I smoked for years after that, and it wasn't until I had a friend who I didn't stop buying them, but I would still bum from people. And I had a friend who didn't want to litter, so it came from a good place. He didn't want to litter, but he would smoke his cigarette, and if he didn't have a place to throw it away, he would put the butt back into the pack.
Oh.
And light them all on fire?
No, it would just be we put it out, and then he would he didn't want to throw the butt onto the street.
Okay.
But what happened was that kind of like grossified the cigarettes in there.
Yeah.
And so when I would bum them from him, I've been smoking for years, and I got nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
And I still did it for like 6 months after that, until my body was
Nauseous,
like,
but not that nauseous.
yeah, it was enough. It was like 30 minutes of like nausea, and then eventually my body was like, nope, you don't have any cravings anymore. Like it's all
Really?
gone. And then to this day, I'll sniff it going down the street or something like that,
doesn't
and I'm like,
make you-
oh god. It's
Sometimes I
disgusting.
smell it. I'm like,
Yeah. Cloves, I still feel like that sometimes because that's
I never
nostalgia
did
a
the
bit.
cloves.
But it took that long for it to be like finally sink in for my body to be like, no, you actually, this is a poison. And
We've
you
been
don't like
trying
it."
to tell you for 6 months.
Yeah,
You're nauseous. Not good.
Listen.
Finally
listen
learned.
To your body.
Yeah.
I was hypnotized.
Really? Mm-hmm. And
Really?
that worked?
Totally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
like Adam Sandler style.
I sort of assumed
I
the
don't know what that
hypnosis thing
is.
was totally a scam. That they,
It might be, but
But it
would
worked.
yeah. Like I really could have done nothing, but it did something. I was so lucid through the whole process. Have you ever been hypnotized?
No.
Have you ever been?
No.
Yeah.
I'm too much of a skeptic, I think.
I didn't know what it would be like, but I just thought I thought I wouldn't remember things, and I was just like, I can hear everything. I can feel how uncomfortable this couch is. Like, obviously nothing is happening. Like, I'm not under because I can hear him. And then I remember when he snapped us out of it. There was 2 other people with us. I was slouched on the couch like this. Wait, I must have really did get relaxed in there. Yeah. And then I just never smoked again.
Wow.
You never had the desire ever again?
And my brother was like, you need to go out tonight. We need to go to a bar. You need to drink a lot and be around the smoke just to make sure. You can't delay that part. So he did. I went out and drank and I'm going to want a cigarette. Nope.
Cool.
That's amazing. I
Done.
never even heard of it ever happening that successfully before.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's how my brother quit too. Yeah. That was his Christmas gift for me.
I was going to say,
Life.
I thought that was a dick move for the brother to be like, you have to go and get tempted
Well,
right away.
No. He was really just get it over with because you don't want to be afraid to be around
If it
smoking.
didn't work, you'd want to go get your money back.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
Right. There's a 24-hour
Right
period.
outside of his office, there was a tall ashtray can, and it was filled with butts because people are just "Ugh," smoking up until the last second of going in there. And
Gotta get your last licks in.
I gotta get it. And I remember I had a really bad cold right before, and I was my last few days of smoking, I knew when my appointment was. I'm I can't even enjoy it. But I remember shivering outside with my sore throat and my cough. I'm I'm gonna keep smoking. I'm gonna smoke through it. I only have 32 hours left of being a smoker.
God, you have a terrifying old smoker voice.
That's pretty good.
That was good,
That's
wasn't
pretty
it?
good.
You should put that in your repertoire for
might have
characters.
To. My bitch. Bird.
Bird is basically a smoker. That makes sense.
Anyway.
Good segue there.
That was, Hey, so smokers.
Nice.
Yeah, smokers unite. So we have to put together a ex-smokers game
group,
of D&D for sure.
Or
Okay.
Betrayal at Balder's.
All that, and we'll just be out on the street smoking the whole time, not exploring anything.
That's true. You could just stand outside of the Rose Portal
That's true.
and admire its curves. Whoa, it is a circular building.
Circular building.
That's so cool.
Nice. Now we know. So you, for people who don't know and don't know about you being a friend of the show, what you run a little jaunty business?
A modest, small but fierce publishing business, Kobold Press. Yeah, we are third-party publishers for D&D.
Yes.
With a number of titles under our belt. If you go back and you look at your copy of Horde of the Dragon Queen, you'll see the Kobold Press logo in there.
You will.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Same with Rise of Tiamat. And then there's this other book that did well for us called Tome of Beasts.
Dun, dun, dun,
Which-
dun,
Oh,
dun.
I remember when we were talking about
Exactly.
that
It was hard to keep in print because it's a big book of monsters. And I have good news that some of the books I was trucking around today are
Yeah?
the reprints, so it's back in print.
Hey!
Oh, nice.
I know.
You reprinted it. Is
We
this
had to.
How many?
This
Really?
is the second
Second
reprint,
reprint?
so the third printing overall. Yeah,
Are you
it's
serious?
a big deal
That's
for a
amazing.
small company like Kobold Press. I can name on 2 fingers the number of books we've reprinted that often, right? It just doesn't happen.
That's amazing.
So it's a big hit. Come on, big book of
And
monsters.
then you got
what do
to
you
hand
figure?
deliver them.
Sort of. Yeah.
Each one
Each one.
Well,
to
there were-
every customer.
Yeah, you never really realize how big a print run is until it shows up in pallets wrapped
Yeah.
in shrink wrap with a bill of lading that says, this is 3 tons of books. What would you like us to do with them?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Put them on the truck and ship them
But
out.
why were you what were you doing?
Well,
I feel like you should have people for that.
I do, but I have 2 warehouses. This is my problem. I have the warehouse where people actually ship stuff.
Yeah.
And I have the warehouse where I store everything because the shipping warehouse is small.
Oh, so it doesn't sound like you're going to need to store these for long, though.
Probably not. And also today I had another book. So it's not just the old book. The Kobold Press just released Demon Cults and Secret Societies for 5th edition.
Ooh,
Which
tell
is
me more.
all bad guys, just like you would expect. 13 cults of evil, vile badness. And
it.
I mean,
13 is a good number for that.
Yeah.
13's a perfect number for that. It's like the guys who follow the Emerald Order of Thoth and are all mystical and ancient Egypt and magic. We know how the way should be. We have the black god Chernobog from Russian mythos. He's got a great cult. He wants to put out the sun, basically.
He's got a great cult.
He's got a great cult. And the nice thing about each of these is they've got leaders and plans and adventure hooks and plots, and it's like, okay, here's the big guy. We've statted him out for you. Here's the next tier down, right? Like
The sub-lieutenants.
the sub-lieutenant. We got the whole like Amway pyramid of evil going.
But do you have a toaster?
We have new magic items in there.
That counts.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and there is a group called the Burning Rune. They'll toast you. They're nice.
yeah.
They're toasty.
So, yeah, it's just out.
You kickstarted this, right?
It was a Kickstarter.
And then so now the printing just happened.
It just happened. The truck pulled
People
up.
are going to be real excited.
People are going to be
soon.
excited. I'm actually like, this week is the week of, hey, let's do the fulfillment. Let's take 1,000 boxes and send 1,000 books to the 1,000 backers, right?
That's cool.
So, yeah, that is the back office work that I'm really excited to see it happen because it means we're done.
Right. Right.
I mean,
This is the reality of RPG publishing people. It's like,
Right.
well, it's done. We don't have to do it
it's
anymore.
done. Whereas, like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, trucks never show up at the Wizards offices and back up and say, here's are the pallets, take them to your shipping room, ship them, right?
No, we have
Like swag.
You hand
Oh,
off-
yeah, my swag comes in.
Your
That's-
swag comes that way.
Yeah.
But, like, you hand stuff off to a printer and then magic happens, which is so cool.
Yeah.
But for the small press, there's no magic. There's, like, guys like me with trucks.
I did some small press stuff back in North Carolina, and it was exactly that. It was like I had to deal with the truck that was not, because it was a big ass truck,
Right.
and our pallets were big, but they were not only a very small portion of what the truck was carrying,
yeah.
and so we had to like figure out where. I'm like, this is not an office that was made for dumping off this kind of stuff.
Did you have a forklift? No, you did not.
No, we did not have a forklift.
Oh my God.
We needed to get someone who had a forklift
Right.
to get it delivered to us, and then we're like, great, we got pallets. Now what do we do? So then you got to ship it out and fulfill it. I know,
Right.
it's not easy.
So it's a blast because it's like it's real now. I can touch it. The PDF shipped to backers like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't count. I mean, they're
you
all
wanna
excited.
touch the
They're
physical.
reading it. They're
Yeah.
like, this is great. This is playable. I'm going to use this.
Sorry.
But like, all right, when the book's shipped, then we're done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be out on the Kobold store. It'll be out on drive-through, all those kinds of local game stores and Amazon. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, getting it out on all those things is interesting, so that people can figure out whichever works best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And local game stores cover it here? Are you shipping to other distribution areas?
I could probably talk to some of the high-flying game stores around here, like Mock's Boarding House
Yeah.
or Uncle's Games or one
They
of
would
the.
love you.
Well, yeah, but I'm not I have enough
being
shipping
local.
to do. Well,
You can drive to them.
yeah, I guess it doesn't make
You
any
can have
sense.
people drive to.
I can
Get your
hand it
people.
off to a distributor and have them do all that.
Yeah, you
because there's like not just the 20 game stores in the Seattle area. There's like the 2,000. I don't know.
There's a lot.
There's
Hundreds,
others.
thousands of game
There's
stores.
others
Yes, all over the country.
And the world.
in the world.
Yes.
Yes. But Kickstarter is different in that way, where like you almost don't have to think that way anymore, because you're like, all
Yeah.
right, it's bought and paid for, and I'm going to ship it to the people who bought and paid for it. And then the other stuff is like gravy. In a way, right?
Well, that's true. And I mean, I love the backers because they make the whole thing possible, and it's a better book, and it's a more colorful book, and it's a more play-tested book because of the backers.
Yes.
But at some point, I want it in the local hobby shops too, right? Because not
Yeah.
everybody does Kickstarter.
Right.
And
Not everybody's online.
pretty much everybody.
Well, I guess that's true. But like, we always, we had our big Stream of Annihilation event, and you think like, oh, most D&D
Everyone's
fans
heard
know
about
about
it.
it, right? And I met someone at a party, and I was like, oh, did you guys see that? And they're like, no, we didn't. No. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it's not as pervasive as in our bubble we think it is.
Right.
Well, if
You
you're
know?
not following D&D on
Exactly.
Twitter.
Right. And we try to get it
Facebook.
out into different channels, but it must be
have-
the same for you guys, where it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like everybody knows what we're doing, but not always.
Not necessarily. And I
Yeah.
mean, I've got some pretty geeky neighbors in the greater Seattle area, like, I don't know, an animator who works at Bungie, right?
Yeah.
Geeky guy. He's got an office campaign of D&D.
Right.
They kicked it off after having not played for years. They all came back to the game and
Nice.
said, hey, we're going to kick it off with, I forget what he started with, Horde of the Dragon Queen or Prince of the Apocalypse. I'm not sure. Anyway, and he was like, yeah, we're having a great time, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, great. Well, are you interested in any of the other new stuff that's happening, right? Like, I'm doing this big book of monsters. And he's like, yeah, maybe. I'm not the DM. I don't care. Right? So he was polite about it, but he was like, I just like to play. And that's fine, right?
Yeah.
The hardcore people are going to show up and say, I want a Volo's Guide, and I want everything.
Yeah.
But if you're just playing with your friends every week, it's like, I remembered my character sheet and my dice. Give me credit, right?
Right. And I brought snacks for the DM. Like, what else do you want from me?
Right.
Exactly.
So people are invested at different levels. And I guess Kobold Press is always aiming at the hardcore because we're small and trying to pick up people who are like picking at they already own everything that Wizards does. And it's like, well, what else is there?
Well, there's a lot of other stuff.
Let us tell you.
Yeah.
There's a big book of monsters.
Yeah.
Say, do you like cultists?
Yeah, everyone does.
I got a great cult. A great cult.
How about a secret society? It's a little more entry level, but
Yeah, and you'd fit right in. They're crazy just like you. I mean, in a good way.
in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a blast. We're gonna do another Kickstarter later this year.
Ooh, any hints on that one?
Well, I mean, the obvious hint is, oh my God, we just did a third printing of this one book. What if we did another book like that?
Tome of Beast 2.
Oh yeah, I think we should.
TOO, please, with an exclamation point at the end.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
In that like font, I'm like, yay.
I had a meeting with some of the freelancers and the art director and people, and like, what do we call it? I was like, well, there's
More.
an obvious name, right? And I said, you mean Bride of Tome of Beasts? And I was like, no.
I'd buy that.
Return of no. Further beastishness? No. I don't know. So we're already working on it. We've got some monsters lined up, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time, which is ask backers to contribute some of the monsters.
I was going to ask, 'cause you guys, I remember you telling us stories about making this book, and there was some really
Those were some of the, it's like, well, we got a few hundred monsters from backers.
And having
then we
people
had
create their own. How
right,
fun is
pick the best
that?
ones. It was a blast, and we sort of sent them the illustrations early when we could. Like, here's how your monster's going to look in the book.
Oh, seriously?
Because otherwise they're waiting months, right? So I think the art director got out a few of those images to backers.
How exciting.
Yeah, and so we're going to try something along those lines. Now, of course, the bar has been raised by Volos, right? So we're like, oh, man, it just keeps getting better.
Got to bring the fire now.
We got to bring the fire. We got to be small but fierce. So we're going to do it.
We have a good subtitle here in chat, which is Tome of Beast 2, Electric Beastaloo.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right, I'm taking that straight to the art director. I'm saying, all right, here's the text. Please give me a title treatment.
That's good.
Give me your best logos.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
So how many more beasts are we talking here?
Well, last time we did 400, and that seemed like too many.
Yeah, did you have any on the cutting room floor that you can?
We did, and we're not picking up those because
They were cut for
They were
obvious
cut for a
reasons.
reason, right? It's like, this is a lame dinosaur. This is a, sort of a skeleton. And it's not that great.
Oh, it could be like Tomb of Beasts, Misfit Island.
We'll
Misfit Island?
probably do that next April or something.
Yes.
Because
Oh, now I
there's
kinda like these
always
guys.
there's always stuff that gets cut in every product, right? It's like, nah, there wasn't room. It wasn't that good. The developer hated it. Whatever.
Right.
It happens.
about-
It's okay.
Oh, man.
How about Beast in Paradise?
Piece of Yeah, bigger section on angels. I can see that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right? It's just full angelic.
Some sort of-
the best monsters ever. Is like, oh
A
yeah.
hamburger monster, hamburger in paradise, cheeseburger. That would be the
Yes.
level up.
Yeah, you'd have to go with the cheeseburger.
Right. What? No, you want to build, right? Tier 2, Tier 4.
Yeah. What about sliders?
Think of the vegans.
Sliders and
The lactose intolerant.
think of our few are proud.
They need the hamburger.
They
They
need
do.
it too.
So we're going to try for that this fall.
I love
We'll
it.
see
Oh,
how that
that's going to be
happens.
fun.
Yeah, I like it. I think people are going to love
People seem to like the monsters.
it. Funny that.
Yeah,
Yes.
more stuff you put in that DMs can use. I mean, that's why I like the cult one too. I mean, that's
It's just like
you can drop it in
cult in
anywhere.
a can, just add water. you
Cult
know.
in a ca-
Really, they
That's
are.
a good title too.
I know. See, that's our sequel for that one.
Yep.
They're meant to be playable out of the box, and some of them have Midgard connections because that's the Kobold Press campaign setting, but a lot of them just kind of fit in anywhere.
I'm sorry, I'm actually laughing
got-
at something
Wow,
in
what
chat
you-
that I cannot repeat. I shall
Come
not
on.
repeat it, but it's
Come
quite
on.
funny.
It's about me.
It's about you. It's about Shelley. No, it's not.
You'll
my
tell
props.
us later.
It made me laugh.
Oh,
It's good. It's a good one. Thank you, sir, for that.
I guess we'll never know.
People are witty in chat.
They are. They're very, and this is a new thing for us. What do you think about doing a podcast in front of people now?
I don't know about this.
Me neither. You know what? Me either.
You're like, I'm pulling it back.
I
People?
people, I love them, but I don't want to be visible. I wish greater invisibility for my podcast. I don't know. I'm not used to it.
It's a new thing, right?
It's a
You
new
said you
thing.
were ready for your close-up.
I was. And then I said, oh my God, am I? I don't
Do
know.
you listen or watch yourself in interviews or listen
I
to
do
podcasts?
sometimes, but I used to, like the first few times it happened, I listened. I was like, how do I sound? And then at some point I'm like, no, I was there. I said those words. I don't need to hear
Yeah.
myself. I'm not so into me that I need to.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to be curious about this because I don't know what I look like on camera. Like,
Well, your hair looks great.
thank you.
Love it.
We're all about complimenting on here on the.
We're all about elevating.
It's true.
Elevating.
We're trying
Elevating
really
the
hard. We're trying a new
discourse.
thing.
Yeah, so that we're not putting each other down, like our instincts, I think, go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to actually be nice to each other.
Is this a new thing?
Yeah.
I was hypnotized. And now it's working. It's totally working.
Every time you
so
want to
nice.
insult me, you will eat baby carrots instead.
He's lost 10 pounds.
I know.
Because I did tell the hypnotist that, like, I don't want to start eating instead of smoking. And he was like, oh, every time you crave a cigarette, you will eat baby carrots.
Did it work?
No.
I eat them every day. I always have them in my lunch.
You
it
do.
might just be a coincidence.
There's a lot of crunching happening over there while you're crunching on
You can hear my crunches.
game rules.
Rude.
You're crunching on the game rules.
Crunchy.
Yeah.
I'm super crunchy.
So, other than all those things that you got coming out,
Other than that.
and
And the 40 tables at Origins where Kobold
Yeah.
Press is running.
Yeah, so what's
D&D.
going on there? Tell us about
That's
Origin.
Ben McFarland's doing. He's the convention coordinator and a brilliant designer.
Do you want me to go check on him, like undercover boss?
Yeah.
All right.
No, he's doing
First
fine.
undercover shopper?
I said, Ben, why aren't we at Origins? We should run some events. And he's like, I'm on it. I'm like, what? Oh, great. Yes, do that. And next thing, we put out a call for game masters and said, who's going to run games? And we wrote some new scenarios. I think we got Mike Shea to write one and some other people.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
The
40
cartographer?
No,
Oh,
Sly
Mike
Flourish.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Mike Schley is the.
I was thinking, yes.
See, you can, it's so
Yeah,
easy.
I have to
confuse.
know them by
One
their
letter.
Twitter handles. I don't
I
know
know.
like real names.
So, we said, let's try it. And then I said, but I want to be there, and I couldn't make the schedule work, so I'm not actually at the show. But Kobold Press is still represented in a way because
That's awesome.
we're running something. And speaking of Ben, he also wrote the 5th edition version, or the original version of the Streets of Zobek book we did for 5e.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that's City Adventures. Oh my God, I've got so much going on. And did I tell you about the Roll20 stuff we're doing?
No, what are you doing with
Whoa.
Roll20?
See.
We just had
hiding
Suzanne
my-
in
Yeah.
here.
I saw Susanna, she was leaving, and she just kind of gave me a look like,
We broke her. We just really.
Yeah, we grilled her.
crushed
We
her.
grilled her under the hot lights.
Yeah.
We were like,
Yeah.
tell us about anything.
Roll20 is amazing. They're doing great stuff. And I wanted Kobold Press to be in there, so we did a couple of scenarios with like animated tokens, like Dragonfire tokens, trap tokens, things that actually.
Animated token.
Oh yeah, because if you're paying extra for a scenario, right?
You got to get some
You want to
animation
get
in there.
Yeah,
something
it's
cool in there.
cool.
So the tokens have full stats, and there's notes to the GM, and the whole thing is basically here's your Roll20 gameplay experience for D&D on this Kobold Press scenario with a bunch of new monsters that are fully statted. So those are nice. I think we call them double dungeons. We've done one of those. We've done a cat and mouse one. They're all adventures so far. The monster book was coming later.
Nice.
Really?
Oh, really? Some,
Into.
Oh,
It'll be available on-
geez, I'm just spilling the beans here, aren't
Is
I?
that?
is that okay? You don't have
No,
to.
that's fine.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
I mean, we
I
can't
had
edit
talked
it.
to
so.
Susanna. Yeah, it's live. It's too late. It's out there.
It's out there.
You tricked me.
Well, I mean, as a
been
fan, I'm interested.
hypnotized.
This is totally fine. We've been talking about it for a long time, Suzanne and I and the Roll20 people, and I'm like, we should make this happen. And so I don't know when, but at least it's on the schedule as, okay, we're going to do this. This is going to happen.
Nice.
I would say by the end of the year, but Suzanne would kill me for putting a date on that. So
And she says she lurks in our offices without us knowing.
Yeah.
So she's actually
She
probably
might already.
crawling right
she's
now.
awesome. She knows everything.
She
I
does.
don't know how that happens. And the Roll20 stuff is growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
So
Have you
yeah.
played any games online?
I have, although that was Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah.
So which was also fantastic.
The whole virtual tabletop idea is expanding and growing and going crazy.
I know. I know that a lot, almost like Yawning Portal shipped with some support from Roll20.
Yeah, from both of them. I
Or
think.
both.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, day and date, you're dropping all the digital assets too? How awesome is that?
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
It is.
For the people who don't want to do it twice, they can be
Right.
like, well, I can actually pick and choose which one they want.
Which one do I want? And some people would prefer, like, I just want the book. And some people want the PDF. And some people now, I mean, it's a legit format, right? They pick it up from
Yeah, especially if
from
you're
the
going to
marketplace.
play in it, you might as well
Yeah.
use it with the convenience of having all those markers and all those
From
things all
day
together.
one.
Yeah.
So yeah, my art director is not thrilled that we are like doing so many more tokens. I mean, it's like expanding the art budget. You got to go do cool new things with maps, grids, and gridless. I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning how
Whole new
this
world.
works.
There's a lot.
Like
Yeah.
all 400 monsters would be available?
Yes.
All 400.
Yes.
401. There's going to be one special one. I'm making.
We're
that
going
up.
to put a special bonus monster
Bonus.
not available in the print
Yep,
edition.
That's right.
Only available on
Oh
the
man, I
website.
hate it when people do that.
It's going to be a Shelley Mazanoble
I was going to say like a
monster.
Titosaurus or something.
Mm.
Now there's going to be two because we're going to design each other's.
A Shelley
As a
Source
nemesis.
and a
Tabaxi,
Titosaur.
Oh, it could be
our
our-
litter mate Tabaxis.
That's true. We could do that.
Oh man, now everybody's going to want a custom monster. Yeah,
Well,
that's-
back the next
All they have to do
project.
is-
isn't that-
Maybe
isn't that
the
a
backer
monsters
tier?
will Get in it.
that's pretty much it.
Nice. All right.
I'm
well,
ready for that.
I'll give you $500, whatever it is to do
Yeah,
that.
what does it take?
What does it take? How about
Less
how
than
about
that.
2 D20s?
Ooh,
And a mug.
you're on. Well, I mean, last time it was anybody who backed it had the chance to. You just had to actually write a monster.
So do you have to stat it out or just write
Oh
the
yeah,
monster?
no.
Oh,
Well, we asked people to stat it. Some people didn't send us stats, and we're like,
Do they get cut if they don't send this?
well, unless it was completely awesome, we pretty much cut
I
our
don't
goals.
like. 400 monsters were in the first,
Yes.
and
We're
then
gonna
there's
do
just like
less.
how many monsters came before that? So like, come on, like what do you got to do to get a new, unique, creative monster?
I don't know, man. This
creative.
is Wizards of the Coast. You're surrounded. You're bathing in unique and creative. It's
True.
pretty
I
much.
often that's all I bathe in.
Yeah.
Which people
That's why his skin looks so soft.
HR has told me like you should
That's where that glow
use
comes
actual
from.
soap this
Yeah.
time.
You
No.
gotta stop
bathing
bathing
in
in-
creativity.
It's got a certain, don't
Yeah.
find
Funk
that
to it,
Funk,
Like
that funk
clove
to the
cigarettes.
office.
Like clove cigarettes.
Cloves
it
and
smells
patchouli.
like like
Creative
ham.
Funk smells like ham.
Cloves and ham.
Oh.
Easter ham. So
Monster.
tasty.
Wait, I'm getting inspired.
It's a pork. It's a
Monster.
pork monster.
Smells like ham.
As you as a vegetarian, like fighting a pork monster would be pretty terrible.
I'd fight the hell out of that thing.
You use your fireball and be like, all right, it's
I'd
charred.
be like bacon.
Yeah, we'll smoke
I
this
actually
monster
ate
out.
bacon on Saturday, unbeknownst to me.
Did you
A
get
little bit of
sick?
bacon and a pasta. No, I don't even know if I tasted the bacon. I had like a bite of pasta. And
What, they
then-
told you later just to annoy you? What?
Well, it was like at a party, and he was like, "You're the only vegetarian here. I'm not going to make vegetarian pasta." It was like Sunday when I learned that.
Oh, yeah,
like,
well,
oh.
too late.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the
no,
way,
fine. It was really good.
I
Thanks.
forgot to tell you about my dietary restrictions that
I
I'd
know.
ignored with this
Seriously.
pasta.
You can't when you're the only one. You can't.
It's true.
Can't
I
deny
thought
the
the
people
West
bacon.
Coast was like a paradise of tempeh and
The West Coast
soy
and Ithaca.
and Ithaca and wheatgrass
Yeah,
juice.
we
and,
cater to your dietary needs.
But it's actually all carnivores here.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny was
It's getting close to dinner time. Is that what's
Yeah, I
happening?
know, we're all kinda
Actually,
hungry.
I just realized something.
I was
haven't
thinking
had my
about
snack yet.
when during the stream of Annihilation when Joe Manganiello was there,
Yeah.
he was like, I need to eat meat, and we're like, okay, let's get some. Like we had like catering was happening, but he was like, yeah, no, my doctor says I need to have as much protein as I possibly can.
His doctor told him that.
Or his dietitian or whatever it is, but it was definitely like he's like, I'm a carnivore. Anything with meat in it, I need it right now. I'm like, okay, we'll get it.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, and I just thought it was very odd that someone who was so health conscious, I mean, obviously he's putting on muscle or whatever, doing whatever working out people do, but like
Working out, whatever it
Working
is.
out people.
yeah, like
Exercising
with like the
people.
protein shakes and all that stuff, and he was, I guess so he wasn't going into that territory, but wanted something that was, carnivorous. It was the words he used, and I was like, oh yeah. So he's a D&D person. Felt like he was in the
character.
tribe by doing it that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, you had a great stream. And
Did you watch it?
I watched parts. I did not watch like 36 hours of live streaming. But I dipped in and I said, wow, these guys are doing an amazing
It looked
job.
really good. Right?
Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
great. And the players were great. I didn't know all the groups that were invited, so, I saw
Did you
some-
watch the meat grinder?
No,
of
I
these.
missed it. I saw some of the photos later of the ripped up sheets and Perkins gleeful smile or whatever. Just
That was my favorite bit when he started ripping. He was like, I want to try and get it into the microphone. So he was like in that ripping sound. It was good stuff.
Harsh.
Yeah, it was great. I had flashbacks to the meat grinder dungeoning of the 80s and 90s, where I think that was more common at some point, like in 3rd edition, that kind of backed off the meat grinder stuff.
Yeah, well, the idea that there was like Tomb of Horrors was a tournament game that was made to kill people as quickly as possible, and it was one of like, the most challenging.
And it did that.
It did that. Yeah.
And this is clearly also in that vein.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that style of play come back.
I like it too. I like the idea of like, once you're dead at the table, the player leaves. Like I like that like rotating kind of idea. Like, oh, when you're dead, you're dead. It's kind of like the idea of permanent
Get
death.
out.
Yes, you don't deserve to be here anymore.
Were there any players that didn't get to play? Like, were they still waiting in the wings?
Yes.
But,
Yeah, there were a few. Chris Perkins played it straight up. That's what I liked about it. It was like
Yeah.
he
He didn't just
didn't
try to kill
fudge
him
the
to get
dice.
those
He didn't
people.
like go overboard to try and kill people. He was like he played it the most fair way that he could, which meant that there wasn't as much turnover as we were planning for. I thought there was going to be a lot more deaths happening, but we turned over the table once, so it ended up being like all 6 players
that was
were.
good.
Yeah, I think of like Tracy Hickman's Killer Breakfast for this
Right.
kind of thing, where he's got a line out the door.
Oh, yeah.
And people sit down, and their character's there for about 30 seconds.
Seriously?
Okay, maybe it's not that
They'll
brief.
touch one thing and be like, "Oh, you're dead."
But the turnover is incredible, and part
Nobody
of
survives. Has anyone ever survived a killer
a
breakfast?
Killer Breakfast, like the last guy in line, probably. Right? Someone needs to leave to tell the tale. I think some people survive, but not very long. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch that.
Yeah, and people were really fighting to survive, which I like too. Like it made it more entertaining that it wasn't just like, "Oh,
Well,
you're dead."
That's when you get
Like,
creative, right? That's when you're just.
What
I'm going
else
to
have
pull
we
out all the
got?
stops here and just.
I don't know what this potion is, but I drink it.
Yeah.
It's my college life.
But I think you're right in a way that like that style of play changed and shifted because people became attached to their characters way more as their role that they were playing, and so
I blame character optimization for this. If I'm going to spend 6 hours optimizing my
Oh,
character,
You
and
better
like
not
you
kill
better
the
not, he
character.
better live, right? He has plans for a feat at such and such a level, and he's going to take a subclass or
a prestige class.
I wasn't going to date myself, but there you go, right? Right.
You're like, "I'm planning."
Yeah. A kit in 2nd edition. Oh my God.
kits.
Yeah. The prestige class of their day.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've got your character planned out to the end, why are you playing, right?
Yeah, you gotta live in the moment
I
sometimes.
know. It feels too regimented for me.
Yeah. But when people are doing not even just about planning out a character that way, but like a character story arc in their
That's
heads
different.
of like, "Oh, hey, I want to meet my parents, my estranged parents."
I
on my
love
level
those
10 or
plot
something like that.
points. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you do you?
Right. By the way, you died.
Right. You come from a long family of weird creatures.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Did I mention it's a full moon? Yeah, right. It could be a blast, right?
But I think there's something actually at Origins that I think the Dungeons and Dragons team is running is the D&D Open is
Oh,
is
yeah,
back.
it's back.
Yeah, we did it last year, and I think they're updating again
Doing
with
it
some
again.
Yep.
some Tomb of Annihilation-y type stuff, or actually I think it might be Tomb of Horrors-y type stuff at Origins.
Okay.
But
They're
yeah,
streaming it.
yeah, it's that idea of not it's cooperative competitive play where like it's a tournament and you want to be the best at what you can do, but it's not necessarily the level of lethality of some of the older modules, but that
Right.
idea of like everybody's doing something together.
Everybody's working together. You're trying to beat the system.
Yeah.
You're trying to do it faster, better, with good survival.
Right. And then getting almost like a score at the end. Be like, "Oh, you got this far because you did X, Y, and Z." That kind of stuff. It's really hard to adjudicate and make sure it feels fair.
Right.
But that's Trevor. That's Trevor's job.
Yep.
Trevor, I'm
Not our
working
problem.
with
Trevor's working on that right now.
He's got some top men. Dave Christ from Baldman Games is doing a lot of that there too. So
Yep.
I think this podcast episode will actually go up the week after Origin. So it went
it
really
was
well.
Great.
It was
It was
fantastic.
So fun. It
Best
actually is
D&D
really
Open
fun to
ever.
watch, even if you don't play in it.
That's true.
I have
right.
watched it.
Satine and Rudy, our friends from
Yeah.
LA, will be there streaming from the very show we're describing.
So that means during that time, nobody's going to be demoing my game.
Aw.
Guess I'll just be sitting alone at a table.
Aw.
You won't get any takers.
Nobody.
No.
They're all going to be at the open.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I don't either.
I know.
people wandering the hall saying, "What is this? It looks like Betrayal on House on the Hill, but it's not."
I said, come sit down.
Come to me.
Come to Baldur's Gate. It's
Will you be
beautiful here.
cosplaying as Magdalena during Origins?
If I don't shower for a few days, I will. Just got kind of the greasy hair.
Well,
it?
there is makeup that you can do, and you can do that, or a mask, or
I could do that.
or
Magdalena
a wig.
Mask. I love her.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think you can.
You could be
Get
Ball.
some nails.
Come
Get some nails.
on.
I'll be Belle if you be
can be
Magdalena.
Ball. Don't you think he looks kind of like Ball?
Maybe. I
Well, you
don't
got to see
know.
the cover.
He's got
and
a
then-
theater background. He can look like anyone.
It's true. I'm a chameleon.
Man of 1,000 faces.
And unrecognizable. You just like nobody. I just blend in with the crowd.
Mhm,
It's
I
true.
do.
That's how I kill all of my Russian diplomats. Shit. I just blew my cover.
Kill your cover on live Twitch stream.
See, if it wasn't
dang
live, we
it.
could have edited that part out.
It's a matter of national security. How can you do that?
Oh, I learned from my president. Dang it!
Ah, you can't
I'm
edit
doing it
that
even
out
worse.
either.
All right. There's a question in the chat about can you get this TOA shirt, Tomb of Annihilation shirt, and the answer to that is to come to one of our events. Actually, at this point, we make a whole bunch of them. We handed them out as
Like
swag.
what?
But
Like
it's
at
the-
Origins?
I believe there will be the Dungeon Masters during the D&D Open will have shirts that have this motif on them.
Swag for the DM.
Swag for the
I have
DMs. You
one.
got to make them happy because
Yeah, you do.
they're volunteering a lot
Yeah,
of the
they are.
time.
Great. And Gamehole and other packs.
Yeah, I think we'll PAX West. We should have a version of this available, things like that. But the very thing is just, message me on Twitter and maybe I'll send it to you.
Oh,
There's always
you-
that. That's always a
can of
possibility.
worms
I
right
know,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Here goes your Twitter notices.
I know,
right?
just going to blow up. It's going to blow up. Speaking of Twitter, where can people find out about you?
Well,
kind sir?
professionally, it's at Kobold Press. When I'm just goofing around, it's at Monkey King on Twitter. And, there's a Kobold Press Facebook and a Kobold Press blog. And
Is that you, though? Or do you have people?
I actually have people to help with that, but a
Yeah.
lot of it's me.
Really?
Well,
People could actually interact with
yeah.
Alright.
Although
The Wolfgang?
the Wolfgang Baur.
or not some days, but it depends, right? Like James Hake is helping with some of that. Who
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
He's
we had
doing-
him on the
I didn't know
podcast
that,
after you mentioned
yeah.
him, and then
Yeah.
he was at the Stream of Annihilation. He came to say hi to Matt Mercer and the Critical Role folks.
Right, he has worked with them in the past. I
Yeah.
think he's working on
Their source book.
their
right?
source book that Green Ronin is doing soon.
correct.
Right? I can't remember the name of the campaign setting. Why am I blanking on it? But
Taldurai?
thank you.
I
Yeah,
think.
I think
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's in with the critters.
He's a good guy, that James Hake.
He is, and he's also working on a set of monsters for a project to be named. Oh, wait, it has been named.
Electric Boost Beastaloo.
Yeah.
Beastaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's contributing to that as well.
That's great.
So
Cool.
Yeah.
Good deal.
That's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to our live.
I was terrified, and you made it fun. Thank you.
Really?
We try.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
You didn't act
even have
terrified.
to. You didn't have to pop in any
yeah.
menthols.
I
How's your-
surreptitiously have been just mainlining these menthol things to retain the aura. And then as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to smoke another menthol cigarette.
Nice.
I'm going to go back to
Bring
my
it
old
back around.
bad habits.
If you want us to hypnotize you, we can do that.
You already
Is that
have,
next time?
You have
That's next
hypnotized.
time.
You don't even know it yet, but
If you bring me a gnomish hypnotist, I'm in.
And an acupuncturist.
Acupuncturist. I hate needles. Well, sure. Why not?
We'll
She'll be a
hypnotize
tiefling.
you
She'll
to
be a
like the
tiefling.
needles.
Tiefling. That's my type. All right,
All
let's
right.
go.
That's
Awesome.
your time.
Well, thank you to Wolfgang. We'll let you step out
you.
here.
You
Say
are
goodbye to our
free.
friends.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. See you
Bye.
later. We'll be back in just
Bye-bye.
1 minute to do our outros with us, and then you can yell at us
We're just
on
going
the
to walk
chat.
Wolfgang out.
We're just gonna walk him.
We're,
walk me
we're
out.
nice hosts.
And
Exactly.
it's all concluding.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.